Houston, we have a problem.
Give me all you got!
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Give me back my son! I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
In the Superman Returns video game adaptation, a tornado is the final boss.
This is the Xbox 360 game.
Yes.
A tornado is the final boss.
Yeah, it's the final boss of the game. You fight a big tornado.
So did that tornado make a cameo in Man of Steel when it ripped up his father?
Yeah, same tornado. Kevin Costner was a big fan of that game, and he demanded in his contract.
I'm just glad they were able to make it make sense in that universe. Back when canon meant something.
Oh, did it make sense that he died in that tornado?
It was him wanting him to keep his secret, but Superman is the one superhero that doesn't wear a costume, like doesn't cover his face. So, like Matt, if you were Superman and you dressed like Superman, and I saw you flying around as Superman later on, I'd be like, "Oh shit, that's Matt."
Yeah, but here's the thing: that version of Superman doesn't really disguise himself well as Clark Kent.
No, seriously, it's I put on glasses, I'm different.
Well, here's the thing: like the other Supermans, they put on glasses, they change their hair, they change their posture. They act like different people. You know, you watch like Christopher Reeve, Superman. Like that's a different person. Henry Cavill's like, yeah, I'll just mess up my hair. That's enough.
Henry Cavill's Clark Kent is just Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
he's playing with his Warhammer models,
painting them.
It's like, Lois, what's going on? I was in the other room painting my models.
Painting his models. Here's sees an explosion out the window. Fuck.
He's blowing on it so the paint will dry before he leaves.
The new Superman, when you see like the image they released where he's like putting his boots on, where there's like a big laser shooting the city.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah, but like Henry Cavill's, it's the same image, but he's just painting his miniatures.
Do you think with James Gunn behind the gun on this one, do you think is it going to come off as like Guardians of the Galaxy Light where everyone's being quippy?
I don't think so. I think he knows he can't do that for Superman. I think maybe they'll be quippy at the Daily Planet, but I don't think the whole movie will be quippy. I think the characters that would be quippy will be quippy, but I don't think it'll be a quippy movie.
Yeah, so they've got someone I like playing Jimmy. Who is that?
Yes.
I think it's Tyler Gazando.
Yes, that is his name. I always forget his name, but I always remember his face.
Young Sean Spencer, also from
Yes.
He's also the oldest son in The Righteous Gemstones. Great fucking actor.
Yeah. Santa Clarita Diet.
That one too. He should have played. A lot of people say Jeremy Allen White looks like Wonka.
Yes.
I think he'd be a better younger Wonka.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see that movie?
No, I don't support Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, some beef.
I went and saw Dune 2, but I pretended he wasn't in the movie.
He was fine. Look, I didn't believe in him at first, but I saw the movie. He was fine. Not enough child murder, but he was fine.
He played the perfect dictator, murderous dictator. He took over.
You know what he's good in? He's good in Don't Look Up.
He plays the hell out of a hipster in Don't Look Up.
The way he says I fucking love fingerling potatoes has lived in my mind since I saw that movie. There's like not a day goes by where that's not something like rolling around. Whenever I see potatoes, you present me with fingerling potatoes, I'm quoting him.
I know that people like to dump on that movie because it's very on the news, but I I enjoyed it. It was a good time.
I liked it too. I think the mileage you'll have with that movie really depends on the faith you have in humanity. Because I watched that movie cackling with, yes, this is exactly what would happen. This is what will happen.
It's a better movie if you already are going in with zero faith in humanity.
Yeah, like I watched that movie, like, yes, everything in this movie, this is how everyone will react. Like, I thought it was hilarious. I think if you're like other people were like, well, who's this for? You know, because the people it's making fun of, like, they're not gonna like it, and like the people who are making fun of them, like, we already make fun of them, was like okay, great, like it's making fun of people who just already made fun of. What do you mean, who's it for? It's for people who like to make fun of people.
People who say that, like, I wonder how they felt about Idiocracy, because I think these two movies are like, I think Idiocracy and Don't Look Up are like the perfect double feature.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, how much faith do you have in society?
None at all.
Yeah.
I hope tornadoes come down and take all of society away.
Every day I'm thinking, as soon as Mission Impossible series ends, asteroid immediately.
You know, the movie Twisters, you know, they were trying to stop the Twisters. I was kind of rooting against them. I was like, no, like, the state of Oklahoma, needs to be taken up. Let the Twisters do their thing.
Yeah. My takeaway from the movie is you had to be an idiot to live there. Leave. Just leave. You can do that.
But where would all these Oklahomians? Is it Oklahomians? Where would they go?
Ohio.
No. If there needs to be a second Tornado Valley, it's in Ohio.
I'm saying, though, they go to Ohio, right? Ohio doesn't get worse from that. It stays the same because it's already terrible. And they're safe from the tornadoes.
This is true.
Right?
This is true. I'm just saying I'd be okay if Oklahoma got sucked up by a bunch of tornadoes. A bunch of twisters, if you will.
We should introduce ourselves.
We should. I didn't know what I knew we were segueing. I didn't know which way we were segueing.
It has been 8 minutes.
The sign of a good podcast.
The sign of a great podcast is when you listen.
Checking the clock.
When you listen for 8 minutes and you don't know who's speaking.
Yeah, you know what? They can guess.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll record an intro and I'll put it at the beginning, and then they'll get to this part and be like, ooh, we just learned that the intro they recorded was done in post-production.
You could do the things they do in bad movies where, like, they put like an interesting part up top and then they cut to the intro and then just the podcast starts or the movie starts. Yeah.
Except this time it'll start with the intro and then cut to the interesting part where we haven't introduced ourselves in 8 minutes.
You know, I am confused. Who the fuck am I talking to?
I don't know. Who am I?
Are you Matt Fresh here or are you Matt Rotten?
I am Matt Fresh. Matt Rotten is my identical evil twin cousin who hosts his own podcast that isn't out yet. Actually, by the time this is out, it might be out. But it's not out now.
Alter egos are so 2001.
I don't have an alter ego. I have an identical twin cousin.
I've never, you know what? I haven't seen you in person either. So you know what? I'll just believe there are two of you.
Yeah. Listen, they said identical twin cousins weren't possible, but we proved them wrong. Who am I talking to?
Well, you were talking to the wonderful, amazing co-host, Nick Kaufman. I do not have a twin. I am a wonderful and amazing. I don't have a twin. Fun fact about me, though, is that I have 4 younger brothers who are both sets of twins. So, yeah.
So you have 4 twin brothers?
Yeah, it's 2 separate sets of twins, but yeah, 4 younger brothers who are all twins.
So you have 4 brothers. 2 of them are twins. The other 2 are twins, and you're just there.
All by myself. Lonely island over here.
So
it's funny. It's funny because my parents wanted a girl after me and they got 2 sets of twin boys instead. And the twins all like to laugh, and I'm a bigger guy, and they're always like, "Oh, you probably just ate yours in the womb." And I always say, "Well, I got that right because you guys were all too busy 69ing each other in the womb." I always love it when I choke up on the punchline there, but
Yeah. That is what babies do in wombs. If there's two of them,
they 69 each other.
that's benically accurate. You're correct.
Oh no. We're one episode in and we're already
Nobody fact check
already
that,
off
by the way.
YouTube.
Just believe it. Just believe it.
we're already off YouTube. It's gone.
Yeah, you don't have to fact. I know there's people typing away on their phones right now. You don't have to fact check everything. You can just, like the old days when someone told you something, you either just believed it or you didn't, and you went on with your life. And you held that information, and you then regaled it at a dinner party.
If it's good enough for your uncles watching the TV, believing everything they heard, it's good enough for you with this goddamn podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been 11 and a half minutes now, so I think we should do an official podcast intro.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this clock, the ticking clock.
Yeah, it's like an episode of 24. That's a show that dads
Matt,
like.
you have to do the intro. Matt, you have to do the intro.
Damn it! We're running out of time. We haven't thought of an intro yet. This is our very first episode. You never watched 24? You should watch it. It's a good show. I'm rewatching it now.
The first 3 seasons, and then you can stop.
No, first 5. Season 5 is the best.
Man, you know what? It's been almost 20 years. I should probably recheck some of those seasons I don't like so much.
I don't hate like the last few seasons, but season 5 is the peak. Anyway, this is a movie podcast. Why are we talking about television? Ew.
TV's pretty good too, Matt.
That's true. Anyway, it's now been 12 and a half minutes. We haven't done
Do the
an
intro.
I don't have.
What are you waiting? Just do the
We-
intro.
We don't have this. Okay, this is our first episode. We don't have an official intro, so you're all listening to the genesis of our official intro that we will never change.
My favorite thing about this is no matter how many podcasts you've been on previously, that first episode is always that awkward, like,
We haven't thought of
we
this
haven't-
at all.
we haven't found our mesh. It's like we've never podcasted at all, and I love this.
Yeah, it's just a shit show. The crazy thing too is I spent quite a few hours figuring things out. What's the format going to be? Making logos, picking a co-host. What's the intro? Didn't think about it.
You did all that, and I just showed up. I watched a few movies, wrote a few things down. I was like, I'm here.
That's all a creative partner has to do is show up.
We have a logo. I haven't seen this logo, by the way.
Haven't you? It's the Twitter.
I think I've
image.
seen the other. I've seen the other logo.
It's the. I mean, the Twitter profile picture is a little cut off, but it's pretty much. I'll DM it to you when we're done. Anyway, welcome to Stand and Watch, the official podcast of dad movies, where, listen, dads take a long time to do things. Okay, anytime my mom tells my dad to do something, he does it 3 hours later. So things are delayed. It's on brand.
So I've become a dad in recent years, and this is factual because I've found that it takes me much longer to do things that would normally have taken me 15 minutes. So me watching a 2-hour movie at home now takes me 4 or 5 hours depending on what's going on at the house.
Yeah, and one thing that happens to all men when they become fathers is they begin, and this is why you may be wondering, why is it called Stand and Watch? Well, when a boy becomes a man and that man bears fruit from his seed, something strange happens to him where he must watch any movie on television, at least a little bit of it, sometimes the whole thing, standing up. All dads do this.
I have caught myself a few times doing this in recent years.
They all do it. I don't know. Nobody knows why. It just happens. It's like, when women reach a certain age, hard candy's in the purse. When men become
My wife
dads,
is mm,
standing and watching a movie. Your wife doesn't have
no
any
hard candy yet. No
Really?
hard candy yet in my wife's purse. I'm gonna have to check that after the show. I'm gonna have to fact check you on that.
Well, maybe she hasn't reached the hard candy age.
We're gonna find out. But
Yeah.
I do stand during movies. In fact, I stood during the movie that we're going to talk about today in the theaters for a good 10 minutes.
You stood in the theaters
Well, I stepped out to refill my soda pop, and
and you
I
went
came
in
back in.
and
I came
watched
back
it
in during the rodeo scene,
standing
and
up?
I stood to the side, and it wasn't like we sat near the front anyway, so I wasn't afraid of blocking anybody. But I stood where like the movie theater workers usually stand and watched the entire rodeo scene.
When I saw the last Aquaman movie in theaters, a guy came in, stood. I was in the back row. A guy came in, stood just on the back wall for a solid 30 minutes watching the movie. And my sister turned to me and was like, "Who's that guy standing there?" And I turned to her, no joke. I said, "I don't know, probably someone's dad."
He was in the back row right next to you.
Yeah, well, we were in the back row, like right at like the end, right? And he was just standing in like the middle, just like up against the wall, watching the
Now
movie.
that's just I would say something.
Why?
That seems if he's standing like in front of people and they like I had the decency of standing to the side. Like
No. He was
the-
against the back wall. He wasn't in front of anybody. We saw
Still
him in our
weird.
peripheral vision.
Still weird. Like because he's 2 or 3 steps away from his seat. In my case, I was like probably like 20
I don't know.
steps.
I don't know where he was sitting because he left.
So fucking weird.
He
Was he theater hopping? He was theater hopping. It sounds like he was theater hopping.
I think he was some dad, and he might have been theater hopping. But he came in, he stood, he watched the movie, stand up for 30 minutes, and left.
I don't, and but you know what? He left in the middle of Aquaman, so I'm back on board with what this man's doing. Good for him.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of people leaving theaters and segueing back to the movie, this episode is supposed to be about Twisters. When I saw Twisters, someone left during the Borderlands trailer and didn't come back.
Also, a very smart person.
But they missed a great movie.
Well, I'm sure they'll watch. No, I'm sure they were just very excited about Borderlands and just wanted to go home and couldn't contain the excitement from that trailer.
I don't blame them for leaving during that trailer, to be honest. I do feel sorry for them that they didn't come back. They should have come back.
I think it's going to be one of those okay movies. Not to get away from Twisters again, but I think Borderlands is just going to be okay.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's going to be the place where everyone's like, okay, we're tired of Jack Black voicing everything.
I don't think that's the thing that's going to make people dislike Jack Black, but that's for somebody else to talk about.
Yeah.
We should talk about Twisters. Okay, let's talk about Twisters. Let's intro the movie since we're so good at intros.
We're amazing at it.
Yeah, we're the best. Some may say the best.
Did you want me to intro it, or do you want to intro it?
You have the Wikipedia page up, so you can start the intro, and then if I feel I need to jump in, I will.
Yeah, so Twisters is a 2024 American disaster film directed by Lee Isaac Chung, a screenplay written by Mark L. Smith, starring Daisy Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell, and Anthony Ramos. It's the sequel to the very popular 1996 film Twister. You know it. That was also a disaster film.
About Twisters.
About Twisters. Was that one in Oklahoma too?
I think so. And they use the term sequel very loosely here, I gotta say.
It's yeah, because first of all, do we want to get into what we liked about it?
You know what? Let's first start off with our long recurring segment, Dad Approved Letterboxd Reviews.
Yes, we've done this many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah, it's our first episode. We already have a recurring segment.
I've got mine up here if you want me to go first.
Let me just get my... Yeah, you start while I pull mine up.
Yeah, so you know what? I thought I'd be timely with my Twisters review from Letterboxd. This comes from Angus Truscott, and they reviewed it on July 9th, and they said, "What if Mr. Beast was hot, chased tornadoes, and believed in you?" And they gave it 3 stars.
Not bad, not bad. And you're a dad, so you must approve of that.
I do approve it. I do approve of it because I'm aware of who Mr. Beast is.
Yeah. Our other
and
dads...
I get the reference.
My dad's aware of Mr. Beast, so I guess it's a dad thing to know who Mr. Dads are the only ones in real life who know who Mr. Beast is because they pop up on his Facebook page.
We've reached the point where dads are becoming aware of him, so that means that his popularity is faltering because dads are becoming aware of him. There's a chart I could show you.
All right, here's my dad approved Letterboxd. This is I'm not a father, but
How's that attitude?
I think this will be I think this is very dad coded. So this is from Cameron Kozak. They gave it 3.5 stars. They wrote, "The best tornado movie since Twister."
That was good.
Yeah.
But also, it's Sharknado erasure.
Yeah, but don't let that get in the way of a good dad joke.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, now we can talk about the movie. Let's discuss the movie.
Some follow up. Twister was set in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Just a heads up.
Now, before we discuss the movie, I'm going to clarify. Okay, since this is a dad movie podcast, it's all dad themed. What do dads love? Sandwiches. So how are we going to talk about this movie? The criticism sandwich. That's right.
What's a criticism sandwich, Matthew, for those who don't know?
A criticism sandwich is where we sandwich our criticisms. We start with some things we liked, things we disliked, then end with the things we liked. That's right. It's a nice dislike patty in between 2 like buns.
Which is crazy because I prefer the meat over the bread, but yeah, I get the exercise. I understand what we're doing here.
I mean, we could do dislike buns and a like patty, but then I feel like that would just be very negative.
It's very negative, and then
it's too much negativity. We like to have
you're
fun.
Eating good
here.
Meat.
Yeah,
you're eating good meat, but we'd rather eat good bread here.
Yeah, good bread.
Let's stand and watch.
Got to get those carbs, get that dad bod.
What's something you liked about this, Matt?
Glenn Powell.
Yeah, he kind of sells the movie. That was also going to be my answer.
Yeah. That man is an F5 of charisma.
Because you wanna hate him as soon as you see the douchebaggery and the country music and the yeehaws start coming out. You're like, I fucking want to. This Florida Georgia line motherfucker.
When he entered, like his entrance in the movie, he fucking, he comes in like a wrecking ball, driving this big ass obnoxious truck, blasting terrible country music. And you're like, who's that douchebag? If anybody else gets out of that truck, they're the villain of the movie. But Glenn Powell gets out of this truck, surrounded by screaming fans, yelling, "If you feel it, chase it." And you're like, damn it, I want this movie to be in his truck the whole time.
I want to chase that man.
Yeah.
I guess I need to do a like now that isn't Glenn Powell. I really liked the nod to Dorothy at the very beginning of the movie. Because this movie...
Yeah, that was a nice touch. That was a nice touch. I agree.
Because this movie, like, going in, I was super worried, like, they're just going to lean in on the first movie super hard, and it's going to be obnoxious, and it's going to be just like when people saw Luke's lightsaber in The Force Awakens, and everyone's going to clap. but no, like Dorothy was on one of the machines at the beginning, and I think that was like one of the only nods to the movie. I think Bill Paxton's son's in it, but they don't really like have him in it to where it's obnoxious.
He's the douchebag in the motel.
Oh, they kill him. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the role.
I didn't know it was either until after the fact, but yeah, that was him. But yeah, no, they could have like Force Awakens it, or like that thing that legacy sequels do now, where they like treat the previous movie with like reverence, like the people know they're in a movie. Like, oh my god, it's Dorothy from the first Twisters movie.
Like what it looks like Beetlejuice is kind of doing.
Yeah, right. They could have they could have wheeled out Helen Hunt. Oh my god, it's Helen Hunt. Did you know you were in the first Twisters movie? We love you. But you know,
You're a legend.
Yeah, you're a legend, tornado wrangler or whatever. But no, they're just kind of like, yeah, here's this device that like existed in the first movie because like we're in the same world, but it's like, no, this is its own movie. We're like, this is just the universe of this movie. There's more Twisters that need to be chased.
Yeah, so I really appreciated that they didn't feel the need to shoehorn in every original thing they could have. They didn't do a CGI Philip Seymour Hoffman, thank goodness.
Oh God. Don't
He's
give
back.
Don't give Hollywood any ideas.
Oh, they'll bring him back somehow.
Oh,
Matt, what is something negative you want to say about the Twisters?
Okay. And look, I'm sure the first movie had... 'cause I watched the first movie like a week before I saw this, but I don't remember if it did this. I'm sure it did. I don't know if it did this much. It's too much science gobbledygook. Right? I'm here to watch beautiful people chase Twisters, okay? And I understand like they're doing it for science, but I don't need extended scenes where, you know, Glenn Powell is talking about, oh, we have the radar and the satellites and the moisture droplets and that's and the sulfur goes up there, and it's like I don't care. Just, you know, it's not real science. It's not interesting. Get it out of the way. It doesn't need to be monologues.
I really loved the Javi doing the twister in the cup as he was setting up his fake diorama around it to show what they were doing, and the water had stopped spinning by the time it's set up.
I love too, he could have just been like, okay, so this glass is a twister.
Yep.
Like
but he felt the need. He felt the need to spin the water.
I also, and this is a stupid thing. It's like a thing you'd be like, who cares? It's a movie. It doesn't matter. It's a movie. But when he did that, he demonstrates it to her, right? Whereas like he puts the glass in the middle, and his little satellites he uses like things of like cream or butter or whatever. And when because they're in a cafe, and when he gets them from the counter. He's like, my man, can I borrow these? Like, it's a cafe. Just take them.
Yeah, that man's not going to stop you.
Those are free. Like,
those are for you. He's never been. Well, you know what? He's never been to New York, Matt. First time in New York.
I think one other thing too that kind of bugged me, because Daisy Edgar Jones tells Glenn Powell she's from New York because she moved there. So he keeps calling her city girl. But I'm almost positive she's speaking in like an accent. Like an Oklahoma like accent.
Even like when she's saying that she's from New York.
Yeah. And like he's from there too, right? Like so like he should know she's clearly not a city girl. Like nobody from New York sounds like that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. She doesn't like the accent doesn't change even in that 5 year. It's a 5 year gap from the terrible the sad beginning, right?
Yeah. But like, and I know it's like a dumb thing, but like it's because like he has to like find out later, you know, I'm not really a city girl. But like should know that already. That doesn't need to be your reveal.
Right, where he's like, "Oh wow, you're from here? Oh my, let's see your little science project that you kept in your mom's shed while you were in New York."
Yeah, like they could have like just get them together because they like each other. You don't have to be like, "Oh, you're not a city girl. I like you now." Like, who cares?
Something I disliked was this movie's a very soft core like rom-com. Like it's not full on rom-com because the tornado's at the front. But
Oh,
I mean, you can tell Daisy and Glenn, will they or won't they? Is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen?
yeah, he's very
But if
intrigued by her.
they're smitten. They're smitten throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
But if you're gonna do all that work and like have the back and forth, like you got to have them kiss at the end.
he runs into an airport.
It's a movie staple at this point.
He chases after her at an airport, and they don't kiss.
And the film isn't subtle at all. Like he drills his drill into the concrete to keep his car locked into place. That drill was a metaphor. They were going to bang.
She says to him, he's like, "Oh, so you're really going? You know when you're gonna come back?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know, but hey, if you feel it, chase it." And guess what? He feels it, so he chases it, and they don't kiss.
And it's crazy because my wife was really upset they didn't kiss either. And there are Snapchats of people who were, there during the filming, and there were kisses. They just didn't make it into the final film.
Yeah, according to the director Lee Isaac Chung, apparently Spielberg told him he should cut the kiss because it leaned too much into cliche. But like, he's running into an airport at that point. Like, it's already a cliche. Just kiss.
Someone needs to tell Steven to back the fuck off.
Yeah. What does he know about directing movies?
Yeah, Steven, what the fuck do you know?
Yeah.
You made
1942.
You made The Post.
Oh, and you want them to kiss. You want them to kiss by the end. I think they do a good job of making them like, yeah, get together.
Yeah, because these characters, like, they do a really good job of making them hate. Like, she hated him at the beginning. Just hated him. She's doing some weird daffodil shit where she's like pulling him apart and looking where a lot of people looking at the wind and feeling the wind.
Yeah.
I didn't like that either.
Yeah, but now, because it's a nice haters to lovers arc. Like, you're rooting for them to get together. Because she doesn't like him at the beginning. Because she thinks he's like arrogant and is doing it for the fame. Because he's like a YouTuber, tornado wrangler. But you're like, oh no, but he's good at what he does, and he's so charming, and like, get together, and then you learn more about him, and you're like, yeah, kiss, and then they don't kiss.
The only thing that could rectify it is if the Blu-ray comes out and they call it the Kiss Edition, and there's like a blurb on the box that says, featuring the kiss Steven Spielberg didn't want you to see.
Yeah.
It's the only way. The other thing I didn't like was so I liked the rodeo scene. I didn't like that the hotel owner got sucked into the tornado.
Oh,
they worked so hard to save that man, and when it sucked him up, in my mind I was just like, they just wanted to up the body count, so this guy had to go.
You know what I did like though? There's more deaths in this one than the original Twister, and I do appreciate that because like in the first Twister movie, like nobody really dies in any of the Twisters except like her dad at the very beginning and then like Carrie Elways. This movie, people fucking die in those things.
Yeah, like they might be red shirts, they might be random like Oklahomians, but yeah, they do make a point to show you people getting sucked up into the tornado.
People get sucked up in these. You see just the town leveled. Like, I think there was like one. I think maybe in the first one there's like one town where you see a little bit of the destruction, but like like nobody dies or anything. Like this movie makes sure that these things will kill you.
I like that. I do think this film was missing like an anchor character. Like I think the mom was covering that. Played by, I'm blanking on her name. She's from ER.
Maura Tierney.
Maura Tierney, yeah. It kind of felt like they're setting Maura Tierney up to be the character from the first movie. There was an older woman they all like were friends with who was affected by the tornado. It felt like they were setting her up to be that character. So when nothing happened to her, I was like, oh, okay. I thought we wanted like, because when it happens to someone that kind of ups the stakes, where it's like, oh fuck, like this could happen to the people you love. But I guess since they killed all her friends in the beginning, they thought they didn't need to do that again.
I guess, but I mean, maybe that would have been kind of a stronger climax. Like, oh, I can't let it happen again, type thing.
My mom almost died in a tornado, and I've already lost a bunch of people I loved. Right. I almost just lost my mom. I'm gonna drive into this fucking tornado and put the silver shit in there.
Like, it's really cool when she drives into it just to like save those people. Because it's like, oh, like that's really heroic. But yeah, if like it was like, oh, I gotta save my mom too, like that would have been better.
But getting back to the things we liked, I really loved the people driving into a tornado.
Yep.
I was just like, you know what? This is like Fast and Furious level bullshit, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, I don't think in real life those screws would work. But
No.
I'm here for it. I'm here for. I love that they just have like their whole thing is we're gonna shoot a firework into a tornado. Why? Because it's cool.
Yeah, they caught the YouTuber vibe really well.
Yeah, just like what's up, chat? Driving a tornado. Boone here is gonna set off some fireworks. He's handing out shirts with his face on them to her mom, just cause.
Just cause. I did have a question. I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So we started the episode of Superman. So how cool that to come back full circle. Superman's in this movie.
Yes, he is. He's the douchebag. He's the douchebag.
And
douchebag business guy.
In the previous movie, the douchebag gets got. Like, he gets sucked into a tornado, just fucking gone. They didn't do that to him here. They just left him on the side of the street. Do you think that was a call from WB and DC that was like, hey, you can't kill our Superman?
I don't know, because I don't think he was Superman I'm pretty sure he got cast as Superman while they were filming. So I don't know how much of that would have affected anything. I think maybe they just didn't see reason to kill him just because he was kind of a dick.
He was a businessman.
He was a businessman. He was a dick. I mean, if any of the business people should have been killed, it should have been like the real estate guy.
Yeah, but they were also like, they didn't do it fully like black and white. Like, it was very gray. Yeah. And like the arguments the characters were making, I really like. Javi comes up at one point. It's like, well, these people weren't going to have anything. Like, insurance isn't paying. Like, he's giving them something. So I like the argument he made. It's still shitty what they were doing, coming in and hitting people up when they were vulnerable. But I liked that, like, it wasn't like a complete heel turn for Javi where he was like, no, fuck you.
Yeah. What I like the first Twisters is it's a classic slobs versus snobs story. You know, Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt and all of them, they're the slobs, right? You know, they got their little shitty van and their makeshift equipment, and they're up against Carrie Always with his high-tech equipment, who's doing it for the money, as if there's money in tornado chasing. And this movie does the same thing, except in this movie, the snobs are Daisy Edgar Jones and Javi, and the slobs are Glenn Powell and his crew. And you think they're going to be the bad guys, but it's actually still the snobs. I like that.
I did like the shift. I also like the way that they implemented a love triangle, just like the first movie did. Like, just a lot of smart things that they did to like really remind you of the first movie without being like, ha 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 ha, here's Helen Hunt.
Yeah. Ha ha ha, here's a cow and a twister. Remember that? Remember your childhood?
They got close to that with the chicken.
Why don't I remember this chicken?
It was her and Javi. I think it was the first or second tornado they get caught into. He backs into a chicken coop, and then there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
chicken standing on their.
Oh.
I think either the
Yes.
trunk or the
That's
hood
right.
of the car.
He ran over a chicken coop.
No chickens were harmed in the making of this film.
Yeah. But like there's no cow spinning through a tornado. Huh, remember this? Remember when you were a happy kid in science class?
I was never a happy kid in science class.
No?
Never. No.
Even when they showed Bill Nye episodes?
No, fuck that.
What, are you too old for Bill Nye?
No, I just didn't want to do anything.
Oh. Come on, you weren't even happy when every kid was happy when they were sitting in class and they saw the teacher wheel in the CRT.
No, I wasn't. No, I was. I'm being contrarian. I enjoyed it.
What a negative Nancy we got here. Negative Nick. I call him Negative Nick.
Call him Negative Nick.
Negative Nick. I call him Negative Nick. So negative all the time.
Oh, that was pretty good. I hope he doesn't win, so I don't hear your impression for the next 4 years.
Oh, if he loses, you're still gonna hear my impression.
I can't even do it. I'm not even gonna try. Vile women.
I think I think even if when he loses, the impressions aren't going away. His stupid sayings are in the lexicon now.
Yeah.
Many people are saying like that's not going away. That's never going away. It'll just be it'll just be more funny now because it won't be so terrifying.
Yeah. Timely.
Yeah.
Timely topics on the podcast.
Yeah. All right. Should we grade the movie? I didn't consider if we would grade the movies and on what scale.
So when you say grade, are we doing a letter grade? Do you want to do out of 5 stars?
I mean,
do you want to do?
We could do.
Do you want to do thumbs?
We could do. What's a dad way to grade a movie? How do dads grade movies?
Well, okay. You know what? I got this. My dad, if he really liked a movie, it would just enter his rotation and he would watch it a bunch of times. So what if it was like, I would watch this at least once, like not once. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of how
my dad had a rotation like Joyride, The Mummy Returns, Too Fast, Too Furious. Like these movies were played nonstop in the Kaufman household.
I'm trying to think of how my dad grades movies, and he just goes, "Yeah, that was a good movie." If he liked it, and he just was like, if he didn't.
I do think dads are adamant about buying physical media.
Yeah.
So maybe a rating system of I'd stream that or I'd buy the DVD.
Okay, let's do that then. Okay.
All right.
So DVD. So buying the DVD is good. That's the best rating. Streaming it, that's the middle rating. And then catching it on TV if it's ever on, that's like slightly.
But
low.
wouldn't catching it on TV and watching it, like even if you caught it in the middle, wouldn't that be like the top rating? Shouldn't that be that's the most dad ass thing you can do?
Okay.
I feel like
Catching it on TV, watching it on TV if it's ever on, that's a top rating. Buying it on DVD, that's like that's a solid that's a 4 stars. Catching it on stream, that's like 3 stars. What else is there?
falling asleep with it on.
Falling asleep with it on, would that be 1 or 2?
Is there anything worse than that?
Okay, so that's like the last. So I guess it's a 4-star scale then.
And then, like if there was a movie I wanted to see and I told my dad about it, if it was something that he wasn't into, the usual line would be like, "Oh, I've never heard of that." Or what was that film called? Just man, dads are complex.
Yeah, my dad, even movies he likes, he can't remember. He comes to me. He's like, I was thinking of this movie I wanted to watch. It's a great movie. I seen it before. I'm like, what movie is it? I don't know. Can you help me? I'm like, who's in it? I don't know. What's it about? I don't know. It's good.
You know, I think we're complicating it. We should probably just do stars.
Okay, let's just do stars.
Let's do stars. We can't. Dads again are complex, and there's, you know what? There's many different kinds of dads out there.
Yeah, there's too many different types of dads, and all dads have too many different variations. So we'll just do stars. Okay, I will give this. I'll give it 4 stars.
I'm gonna give it 3.5
Alright.
because I liked it, but then what really drags it down for me, and I know it's Oklahoma, but the country music was just like,
Oh, I fucking hate that
chalkboard.
music.
It was just chalkboard, nails on a chalkboard the entire time. I was like, oh, make it stop, make it stop. Like, have none of you listened to any hip hop or, you know, any like rock and roll? Like, is that all?
Just original. Just give me an original soundtrack. Just something. Just not the country music.
Please make it stop.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Country music was only made. Country music's purpose today is to sell Ford F-150s, as far as I'm concerned.
Do they still talk about Ford F-150s in country music?
I'm sure they do.
I thought every country music song. I like how like you listen to old country music, and it's like you listen to like Johnny Cash, and it's kind of fun, and there's like meaning there, or like Willie Nelson. You listen to modern country music, and it's just like, my girlfriend left me. I'm having sex with my truck. I need more beer.
Or it's just really racist. Songs like "Try That in a Small Town."
Oh God.
Or who is that guy singing about welfare and fudge rounds? Ollie North or whatever. It's a damn shame what the world's come to. People like me for people like you. It's bad. It's a damn shame what country music's come to. More Orville Pecks and Casey Musgraves and less of those neck beard guys.
Oh, country. So bad. It's not even good music either. Like, at least if you're gonna be racist, just have a good beat at least.
There's besides Casey and Orville, I mean, they're kind of oddities there, but there's a few like there's some up and comers that I'm like, you know what, they're not so bad, but it's the party country where it's like, I got a beer and I'm down at the lake. My car just got picked up because I'm on the set of Twisters.
Yeah. The ones who are like at their concerts, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, the Hawk Tuah girl.
You know, I've grown fond of the Hawk Tuah girl.
Have you? She's releasing a hot sauce.
Oh, she doing a hot sauce episode?
No, she's releasing a hot sauce.
Oh, she's doing a hot. I thought you meant she was going to be on Hot Ones.
No, she's making her own hot sauce. She like made a trademark. It's like Hawk Tuah sauce or something.
Get your money. You know, as someone working towards, like, as someone with writing samples and working towards being a screenwriter, like, I saw a lot of people getting upset about her, and I was just like, why? She's not taking your job. Like, oh, I've done all this work, and all she's got to do is do a random street interview, and she's famous. And then I look at the person, I'm like, yeah, she had to do a god awful random TikTok interview. Like, those things suck. Some random sweaty stranger approaches you holding a lav mic the wrong way, ask you a bunch of fucking questions that you don't want to answer. You're just trying to go out with your girlfriends and have a good drunk time.
Like, I don't begrudge her for getting the bag, for like essentially just saying a funny answer that anybody could have said. I just think it's a case like her get, like, what did she get? Like a reality TV deal or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's just a case of corporate executives thinking, oh, look, we gotta hop on this meme culture, not understanding meme culture lasts about 15 minutes. By the time this show premieres, nobody's gonna care about her anymore.
Well, it's just like all these TV shows in the last 10 years have like made memeable moments so they can make GIFs for Twitter.com and all these other things.
Yeah.
And it's become very blatant where it's like, oh, you guys made this scene for them. Like, you guys are hoping to, like, for the internet popularity.
Yeah.
Just the memification of everything and gamifying memes.
And things that are popular on the internet aren't even popular in real life. Like,
No.
the most popular show on the internet is like Succession, and in real life, it got like ratings that are like dwarfed by like some Nathan Fillion show no one's ever heard of. That's
Well, in
on
TV,
its like 7th season.
TV production's at a snail's pace now, because like by the time you write something and it comes out, it's so dated. Like Futurama just had a new episode come out about
Oh, the
NFTs.
NFTs. Oh God, remember when that show?
And I was watching it, and I love Futurama, and I no ill will to the writers, but it's like this episode feels like it was written 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah, it's not even their fault. They were just like, this is a thing we should make fun of,
No.
but like, just leave the topical stuff to South Park at this point.
Yeah, even then.
Oh, anyway.
Do I?
What?
Is it dad joke time?
Well, I did. Again, this is our first episode. Bear with us. When I was coming up with a format, I was like, we'll discuss the movie, and then we'll discuss how much of a dad movie it is. But do we really need to do that?
I think by giving it our star rating was based on how much of a dad movie we thought it was.
Was it, or was it based on how good of a movie we thought it was?
I think if you're a dad that's into country music, I think for dads specifically, it's going to depend upon, do dads like Glenn Powell?
I think many dads do. I think he's got a dad movie star quality to him. He's got that old school movie star quality. I feel like dads will look at a Glenn Powell and be like,
The chin.
yeah. Dads will look at a movie star and Glenn Powell and be like, that's a lad. That's he's from the Tom
And then
Cruise
just the other
school
dependents.
of movie stars.
He took the Tom Cruise masterclass in acting.
Yeah, just on movie making, he gets it.
You know, I think this is a dad movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a star system on this one too, but this is a dad.
Yeah, dads will.
This
dads
is a
will
dad
enjoy
movie.
This is a dad movie. Destruction. You know what seals it? Because Glenn Powell, very much a dudes rock kind of guy. There's nothing dads love more than dudes rocking. And dudes rocking this movie.
Would the dads see the YouTuber aspect of it and be like, "Oh, I'm out again"?
I don't think so, because I think he'll get out of that truck. If you feel it, chase it, and they'll lock in. Who we haven't really talked about is Boone.
We haven't talked about Boone. Boone is Glenn Powell's sidekick, right?
Yes, Boone is Glenn Powell's sidekick. He's also he's very much a dudes rock kind of guy. Dads will look at a character like Boone and be like, I love that little scamp. He's just shouting things. We got twins. Shooting fireworks into the... Dads will see, shooting fireworks in a tornado? Dudes rock.
And we didn't really touch on it, but there's also the journalist that hangs out with them the entire time and is doing a piece on Glenn.
Yeah.
And
he's good. I liked him. I was worried he was going to die.
He's got dad energy too, because then by the end of it, he's given up on the Glenn story and telling the Daisy story, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I was worried he was going to die. I was like, not him.
Me too, because he seemed like who was the lawyer in Jurassic Park, the one that got eaten on the toilet. He had that energy where like he was a nice enough guy, but you could tell that
he's not cut out for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Steven Spielberg getting his dirty hands on it.
Yeah, very much this is very much a dude's rock. Dad.
Yes, this is a dad movie.
Yeah.
100%.
100% dad
100%.
movie. It's 100% dad movie. That's our dad rating. 100%.
100% dad fresh.
It's 100% fresh on dad tomatoes. I don't know.
100%.
Dad certified. It's 100% dad certified.
100% daddy certified.
Yes.
It's for the dads and the daddies and the fathers and the pops.
And the poppies. Anyway, now it's time for dad jokes.
How many dad jokes do you have for this?
I have one dad joke for this because did you come up with more?
I've got 3.
Okay, well, my original plan was we just each exchange one dad joke about the film, but I guess I'll do better next time.
I mean, I can just do one. I mean, I'm
No,
disciplined.
Do
I
them
do
all.
comedy for a living.
Do them all.
All right.
I love dad jokes. I just thought, we'll each exchange a dad joke, but I'll.
All right. Well, here we go. Here we
next
go.
Time, next time I'm coming with 4. Not next time, but the time after that.
I've got Twisters. I barely know hers.
Yep.
And then I've got Twisters, Basil. Twisters. And then this one's for my state abbreviation fans. I think this movie is okay.
Oh God. All right, I saw a tornado once. It really blew me away.
That is the best dad joke.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with a classic.
Oh, this is going to be my least favorite segment. I already know it.
The dad movies, but you're a dad. Or the dad jokes, you're a dad.
The dad jokes, I felt my heart skip a beat.
Who doesn't love a good dad joke? People
It's
who are
just because
no fun.
I'm starting to age into them now.
That's another thing that happens. When men become fathers, they go right into it. It's like the first thing that happens. First the dad jokes, then standing up to watch movies.
I feel the instinct, and I do it when I'm pitching hard drive. I catch myself doing typing a dad joke every once in a while, and immediately just delete. Oh,
you should pitch a dad joke once. I might approve it.
I had one about the Bungie layoffs, and I was like, no, that's if I was someone laid off from Bungie and I saw that joke, I'd find that person. I'd find the writer of that joke and murder them.
Okay, you can tell it here because this is a film podcast, so no one from Bungie is going to listen.
Right.
We're waiting.
They're too busy watching movies because they don't have jobs anymore.
Exactly. Great. Now tell the other joke.
I'll save it for off the air.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for the wonderful and well thought out debut episode of this podcast. Stand and watch. Leave a review. Actually, leave a review after you listen to the second episode, because that'll probably be better.
Do we have any listener emails?
No, we don't have any listeners.
How? What? I thought we were gonna end. What? All right. I was ready to answer some emails, but shit.
Maybe next episode we'll have some emails.
Matt, if people are still listening, where can they find you? Anywhere on the internet, or if you want to give out your home address?
Yeah, they can find me on Twitter at RealMFresh. They can find me on Twitch at RealMFresh. Those are the main ones. I don't know. I used to do YouTube with my friend, but we haven't done it in a while. But we might be doing it again, so maybe you can find me on YouTube at Rongo. At Rongo Pro, I think it is. And
love that you had to look it up.
Yeah. And well, the channel is Rongo, but I think our the quick shit of our is like Rongo Pro. Because if you just type in Rongo, you'll get like a bunch of other channels, I think. Because we're not big enough to appear on the search list right away.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I like that thinking. And just, you know what? Just go follow Hard Drive on Twitter. Read the articles. Get us some site traffic. Specifically the articles I write. It makes me seem more important to the website. But just all the articles, but specifically mine.
Makes Matt more important to the SEO.
Exactly.
I'm not too crazy about the clicks, but if you do go read mine, I'd really appreciate it. You can also find me on Twitter at that Kaufman. I also write for Hard Drive. Got some good articles on there. I've got a very tasteful House of the Dragon one that's hopefully going up soon that I'm very proud of.
Oh,
and
it's such an elegant piece.
I had to go to confessional after writing a few of those.
I skimmed it and thought, wow, what am I getting myself into with this guy?
Well, I'm glad you skimmed it. I wrote that in public while I was waiting for store to appraise some books I was selling.
Really?
And there was a woman behind me watching me type as I typed a few of the questionable lines.
Oh, did you have them in the big font?
Yes, and I was also doing it on my work computer.
Oh, that's fun.
So I may be unemployed and here full time soon. But you can also find me on Twitch and YouTube at Nick Fat Knight. That's active sometimes. There's some cool Iron Harvest stuff there when I was solely an Iron Harvest streamer. So go check that stuff out.
And I guess if you really want to leave a review for this episode, you can, but you should really do it after you listen to like let's say episode 3. Leave a review after episode 3. I think that's good. Yeah, episode 3. Yeah. Wait until
and just
episode
5
3.
stars. Like, why waste your time for anything less, right?
Yeah. 5 stars or don't review. Actually, even if you I used to do another podcast and I always said this and I'll say it here again too. Even if you didn't like this, just give us 5 stars anyway. What does it matter? Just do it. We're putting ourselves out there in the world. What are you doing? Give us 5 stars.
And I say this on another podcast that I do, by the way, which is called Smashing Game Time. You should check it out. But fuck the algorithm. Tell a friend. Like,
yes.
You need an algorithm to tell you what you like and don't like.
Yeah, tell your
and
friends.
to tell people what you do. Tell your fucking friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell everybody. Tell your best friend. Tell your least favorite friend. Tell that coworker that you wish would get fired. Tell your boss. Tell your grandma. Tell your little cousin Timmy. Tell everybody. And tell them to tell other people. And like make sure, like watch them do it. Like stalk them until they do.
And if you don't have any friends or family, go make some
and tell them about it.
And tell them.
You know what a great way to make some friends is? Have you heard about this new dad movie podcast?
You should become a dad.
Yeah.
And then you can tell your kids about this podcast.
Yeah. There's 2 ways. There's 2 surefire ways to make friends or even find a partner or spouse. The most surefire way is to ask them if they've heard about Pluto. They love that. Yeah. Just go right up to them. You hear about Pluto? That's messed up, right? Second most surefire way, you hear about Stand and Watch, the new movie about the new podcast about dad movies. Don't fuck it up like I just did.
Don't.
Yeah.
They'll think you're a fool.
They will. I already know I'm a fool, so I don't care what people think. But you don't want people to think you're a fool because then they won't listen to you when you recommend this wonderful podcast. Anyway, we're rambling now, so.
You know what? I'm a fan of it because I like the rap albums that end with them thanking people, the rapper thanking people for like 10 minutes on the track. So I'm a fan of this rambling. If you can't make kids, go adopt them and tell them about the podcast.
I'm a rambling man. I know dads love that one.
Let's twist and shout our way out of here.
Yeah. If you feel it, end the podcast.